there, it's Liz Yule from Old Stables Crafts, Stampin' Up! Independent Demonstrator. Today's project is this one. It's quite different for me, I think you'll agree. Lots of bling. It's a very different colour scheme for me as well. But hey, you know, sometimes you have to embrace something a bit different. And I wanted to highlight two products, well, sort of three. The Happy Wishes Celebration double stamp set. This is one of the new ideas that Stampin' Up! Have brought this celebration, which is some slightly bigger items. And this is one of these. So these are free with a £90 order or multiples thereof. You can still do, you know, £90 and £45. So you get one item like this and one ordinary item. But there are two or three, I want to say three, what we're calling level 2 items. There's this, there's the Celebrate You Thinlits, which will be in the annual catalogue, and then in the second release of Celebration, we've got the Blossoming Basket Bundle, which is a textured impression embossing folder, which will also be in the annual catalogue when it comes out in June. But as part of the celebration, you get this stamp set as well. But they do marry up really nicely together. So these are the level 2 items. I think those are the only ones. Let me just check. Yes, they are. So I thought I would just remind you that there are level 2 items and make this card with it. Now, the other item that I'm highlighting, because I keep forgetting I've got it, is this gold glitter flakes. This was part of the Falling For You suite in the spring summer catalogue. Let's have a look. We're I think we're going to forget about it. Painted with Love. Huh, completely wrong. Glitter flakes just tucked in here. I think we're going to forget that this suite exists because we're past Valentine's Day now. But it does exist and it's still good to go. So, gold glitter flakes. I'll show you how I've stuck those on when we come to the project. And I'm using a slightly odd colour combination. I'm using Early Espresso and Flirty Flamingo. And one of the reasons I'm using Flirty Flamingo is because it's one of the colours that will be dropping at the end of May, because it's a 2016-2018 in colour. So I'm going to be bringing a few projects using the in colours just to remind you that they're there, and also, more importantly, to remind you that if you love them, now's the moment to get them, particularly during celebration where you can use them to earn free product. You'd think I hadn't planned it, wouldn't you? Anyway, so let me show you what I have done. So I'm starting with a piece of Early Espresso card. This is my standard level, you know, first level mat. So it's 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. And that will be on the dimensions on my blog post, which is linked below. I've got a piece of A4 cardstock, Flirty Flamingo, cut in half, scored down the middle. So this makes our standard A6 card base. So I'll get that ready to go. You probably want to put a liner in. I'm not sure whether I want to put in Very Vanilla or Whisper White, so at the moment I haven't put either. But I think it's probably going to be Very Vanilla. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm not going to stamp on the middle, so for the moment it's slightly academic. So, don't need the card base for the moment. We're going to be doing some heat embossing with gold embossing powder because we're using gold flakes. So obviously we need the embossing buddy. This is particularly important, I think, when you're doing embossing on a darker cardstock. I mean, it's important anytime. It's not an expensive item. I've had my one of these, which isn't a Stampin' Up! One, but it's the same idea. I cannot tell you when I bought this. Maybe 10, 15 years ago. So they do last a long time. I do quite a lot of heat embossing. So yeah, so I'm using Best Friends again. Versamark. Get it well inked. This is a lovely sticky ink. So it's great for attaching embossing powder to. So So let's do the best first. Make sure I've got it the right way up, and that my card is straight, and that my stamp is straight to my card. Don't rock the block, because if you rock the block, you'll get ink where you don't want it. And then Friends just tucks in underneath, and again, don't rock the block. And you probably won't be able to see that yet, but let's introduce some embossing powder, which I like to keep in a sealed container, but it also means it's big enough for me to dribble my embossing powder back into the box, so it kind of tidies it up at the same time. And then quick flick from behind, just to make sure we've got the right amount on. Pop that away, because we don't need it anymore. And get the heat gun out. And of course my trusty cheese board. Wouldn't be the same without my trusty cheese board. So just clip my piece there. Right, as ever, I'm going to heat up my embossing heat tool first, because it's better to use a warm heat tool rather than a cold one. And then make sure you can see it, of course, that would be good. So while I'm doing this, remember that until the end of March you can get Celebration items. Until the end of March, if you're in the UK and new to my newsletter, if you sign up for that, I will put you in a draw for a free craft kit. I haven't quite finalised what's going in it yet, but there will be lots of lovely goodies in there. That's only open to UK non-demonstrators, and you have to be over 18. But other than that, that would be lovely. And also remember to subscribe to my channel, bottom right hand corner, so you get to see all my madness. Right, I'm taking tear and tape, and I'm just going to run tear and tape a couple of strips across the card just below where my embossing is. Straight is good. It's not vital, because by the time we put the flakes on, we're not going to know whether it's straight or just straight. So yeah, I wouldn't get too worried about it. I am just going to trim that off, so bear with me. I'm just using some non-stick or vaguely non-stick scissors, because then I don't have to clean this stick off my snips, and I'm feeling lazy. Right, embossing folder, just to, not embossing folder, bone folder, just to pop that down. Then peel off, oh, let's use my piercing tool as I have it to hand, peel off the backing. Now, warning, the flakes go everywhere, and these are the ones I couldn't get back in the pot. They're actually literally everywhere, so do be careful. If you've got those nice big coffee filters, this might be a moment to introduce them. The other thing to remember is if you have the lid too tight and you suddenly open it, they will really go everywhere. So just be very careful. There's this little sealed for your protection bit on top. Be careful taking that off as well, because they will be stuck to that. They are gorgeous, they are worth the effort, I would hasten to add. And then just pour them onto your sticky strip. They will come out very easily. These, I think, are ideal for anyone who doesn't like sequins with holes in the middle. And I know there are some people who watch my videos who see me sticking sequins with holes on, and they don't like it. And I get that. Sorry, that's not meant to be there. I totally understand that, you know, it can be something you just don't like. Well, these don't have holes, and they are basically flat sequins. So getting them off is actually harder than sticking them on. So, lots of tapping and encouragement. But it does mean that I've also got time to remind you that during Celebration we have Shop, Host, Join are our 3 promotions. So I've talked to you about shopping. That's the £45 free items, or £90 free items. I think this probably calls for a paintbrush. And there's the host is that if you host a party, and that can be a literal party, and if you're near me, then please do contact me and I'll be very happy to come along and help you with that. So if you host a party and you and your friends spend more than £200, you get, in addition to your normal stamping rewards, you get an additional £20 of rewards. It doesn't increase after that. It is just an additional £20, but it's there. So I would highly encourage you to get together with your friends and put a larger order in, and you still get your Celebration items. So and there are some items that you can split. So if you've got lots of little orders, you can split some of the items, because there's paper and ribbon and card bases and all sorts of bits. Right, okay, I'm going to pop as much of this back in as possible, and then we'll and get it everywhere, and then scoop the rest of it back onto this piece of paper and finish our card. As I say, it does kind of go everywhere, and this would be an ideal project to get that coffee filter out for, because that at least contains it. Right, okay, I'm not going to play with that anymore for the moment. I'm going to finish my card off. So, and yes, the join is that the starter kit, as well as the usual £130 of products for £99, no strings attached. I'm going to attach this with fast fuse just for speed. You get an additional 2 full price stamp sets of your choice from the annual or spring summer catalogue. I mean, from the clearance rack as well if you want, but as they are free, I would suggest full price. Then yeah, so you can end up with more than £200 of product in your basket, all for £99, all in your little starter kit. You then get 20% off until at least the end of June, depending on whether you wish to continue after that or not. Getting these flakes everywhere. It's a bit like when you use glitter, really, isn't it? It goes everywhere. And it's lovely for it. So, right, okay, so I just want to have a few, these are mint, these ones are mint. So I'm going to add a few of those, and I'm going to be using my piece of spaghetti. Thank you, Jilly, for that suggestion. Jilly is a fellow demonstrator. So I'm just using multi-purpose glue, just a tiny little spot, doesn't need much. And then you just have a piece of spaghetti, you wet the end, and pick your piece of glitter up. Now this would obviously be an ideal moment for getting any stray bits that happen to have spread over your work surface, and pick those up and give them a use. Those need to dry, obviously, because the glue is still quite wet. So there we go. Let me remove this and I'll tidy that up later. Get rid of a dimensional rogue backing, bit of rogue backing there. There we go. As I say, somewhat different project for me. So remember, shop for free items, host for even more free items, join for even more free items. I would love to welcome you to my team if that's what you would like to do. All the details of all of this are on my blog, which is linked directly below, with all the dimensions and the products that I have used. Going to have to cough. So do follow that. If you need any products, there's a link below my blog post. There's a link to all my social media links. If you click on that, you'll find a link to my online store. If you use the host code, you get to join in sharing the host rewards that go with that host code. And of course, we've got an extra £20 to spend each month. So why wouldn't we? Certainly until the end of March. Do click the subscription button. Do sign up for my mailing list if you're wherever you are, but if you're in the UK. And I will see you again very soon. Thanks a lot for watching.